Okay, we're going to quickly talk about how to do long division with just numbers. So remember, you're going to start with a problem that looks like this. So we're going to say 537 divided by 3. So we start with our long division symbol, which is this, and the number you're dividing by is going to go on the outside, and the number you're dividing into is going to go on the inside. And remember, your answer is going to go up here. This is where your answer will be. So we're going to start by looking at the very first number, the 5. And we're going to ask ourselves, how many times does 3 go into 5? And the answer is 1. So I'm going to write that at the top. So our first step was, how many times does it go into? Okay, that's our first question. Now we're going to multiply this 1 by the 3, and we're going to get 3, and we're going to write that down. So our second step was to multiply. All right, and then we're going to subtract, and when we subtract in a vertical situation like this, we draw a line to mean equals and, subtract. So 5 minus 3 is 2. So our third step was to subtract. After that, we're going to do this fancy move. We're going to bring down the next number, which in this case is 3. So our fourth step was to bring down a number. All right, so now we're dealing with the number 23. So we're going to start our process over. We're coming back up here to goes into. So 3 goes into 23 how many times? Well, 3 goes into 23 7 times. Oops. So I'm going to put a 7 here. Next step, multiply through. I'm going to multiply my 7 times 3. 21. 21. My next step is to subtract. Draw that equal line. 23 minus 21 is 2. My fourth step is to bring down a number, and this time I'm going to bring down a 7. So now I'm going to start over. My new number is 27. So 3 goes into 27 how many times? It goes in 9 times. Wow, good math. Okay, 9 times. So 9 times 3 is 27. And I subtract, I get a 0. I have nothing left to bring down, so I am done. This number at the bottom, this 0, is your remainder. And right now, when you have a remainder of 0, that means that this divided evenly. And it also means that we know that 3 is a factor of 537 because it divided into groups of 3 perfectly with nothing left over. So again, our answer is up here. This is our answer. Our answer is 179. So the answer to your question, 537 divided by 3, the answer to that is 179. We're going to do one more. Let's try this again. Actually, I'm going to erase all of this. The key to this is really keeping yourself in a straight line. That whole dropping a number can kind of get ugly if you don't write your stuff really evenly. So let's try 624 divided by 5, okay? And I want to know what that is using long division. So again, I'm going to put my 5 outside, draw my sign, put 624 on the inside. So I'm going to start with my 6. Whoops, 5 goes into 6. How many times? It goes in 1 time. I wish I could get my colors right. 1 time. Multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract. Draw your equal sign. 6 minus 5 is 1. Bring down the next number, 2. So now I have a 12. 5 goes into 12. How many times? It goes in twice. 2 times 5 is 10. Equal sign, subtract. 12 minus 10 is 2. Bring down your next number. This time it's a 4. So now I have a 24 that I'm working with. 5 goes in to 24 4 times. Put that at the top. 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract. 24 minus 20 is 4. Now, I have nothing left to bring down, which means I'm done. But this time, my remainder is 4. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to make that into a fraction, and I'm going to put it over the number I divided by, which is 5, 4/5. So my answer is 124 and 4/5. So is 5 a factor of 624? No, it's not, because I had a remainder that was something other than 0. So again, this 4, the 4 in the remainder came from the subtraction, and the 5 is the number I was dividing by. Okay, now the only other thing, what I was talking about earlier, is that you need to be nice and organized. Do you see how there's like lanes here, like columns almost? And once you finish a column, you're like done with that column, right? So it's really important for those of you who need to really look at your how well you write things, that you write that nice and straight, because if you start writing crooked, you're not going to know if you've got something to bring down, you're not going to know what you're subtracting from, and you can really kind of make a mess. So work really hard to write that nice and straight. If you need to draw yourself lines, go for it. Okay, that's all there's to it. Good luck.